Now this is my basic bodice without any form of darts, without any form of allowance, nothing at all, just my basic bodice. Now we're going to apply that to this pattern. This is what a slopper pattern looks like. You can use it for your shirts, your bodycon gowns. This is the slopper that you use. A basic bodice, no darts at all. So next we're going to go into dart application. So let's talk about that. For a basic waist dart usually snatches the waist by 1 inch, which is then replaced on the side. So let's get into that. First of all, we're going to measure our bust span divided by 2. My bust span is 4 inches, which is 8 divided by 2. So I'm measuring it on all my lines. Supposed to be stopping on your bust line, sorry. So I'm connecting from my bust line down to my waist and then to my top length. That being done, next thing I'm going to do is to apply my waist dart. So my waist dart, like I said, takes out 1 inch from the waist. So I'm going to take 0.5 from both sides of my waist darts. I'm going to measure 5 inches downwards and mark. On a normal, what I do, because after learning this method, I always prefer to connect my darts all the way down. So you can do that as well. It doesn't ruin your pattern in any way. So I'm going to connect from my bust point to this point, my dart legs. So I have my dart legs, and then the next set of dart legs are going to be connected to this line or all the way down. Like I said, it doesn't ruin your pattern. I even prefer it that way. So next we are going to replace this dart. So you know that your basic bodice is your body measurement divided into 4. So if you do not replace this dart, it simply means that you've taken out 4 inches from a full body measurement. So now we're going to replace this 1 inch on the side of the waist. So I'm placing my 1 inch and marking it down, and I'm going to connect from my bust line back to that 1 inch and then to my top length circumference. At the point where you do this, you might be feeling that you are straight, but do not forget that this will be cinched and your body form will come back and take shape. But if you do not replace this, you'll be causing a lot of errors on your pattern. Now next that we are applying on this pattern is this at this point, this pattern is what you use for basic shirts, regular gowns, where you want to even stop at the half length, basic shirt gowns. You don't need it to have that cupped effect at the underbust. This is what you use. You can either decide to style as a princess dart or as a shoulder dart, or absolutely without any form of dart. So for this kind of pattern, you can use your front and your back to be of the same back waist length if you know how to, do your back waist snatching properly. But if you want to move forward from here, you'll be doing underbust snatching, overbust, tightening, or princess dart and shoulder dart. So let's get into that. We're going to be applying 5 different darts on this pattern. More like four different darts. So let's get into it. Waist darts first, replace. Now we're going to go into underbust. So how do you apply your underbust snatching? You're going to measure your paper underbust. What we have here is 8.5 for my paper underbust, 8.5. And I'm going to measure my actual underbust, which is 7.25, and I'm going to mark that point. So 7.25. So you're going to take 8.5 minus 7.25. How you get the answer? You can simply measure the distance that is left over. This is 1.125. So basically, I'm going to take out 0.5 from this measurement, and that's what I will apply in front. Now what I'm going to apply in front, minus 0.5 0.5. So apply that measurement in front, my center front. Starting from my dart legs, I'm going to come out by 0.5. So what is left after I mark 0.5? This was my initial distance. This is 0.5. So what's left, I'm going to be applying it on my side front, and that is 5 8. 1 2 3 4 5 5 8. 0.625. If you have not learned how to read your tape properly, I have a video on how to read your tape properly, so you can just go through my channel, find the video on tape reading. It will help you to understand all of these points I'm calling very well and know how to apply them. It also helps you to know how to, there's also a video on how to take accurate body measurements that will help you to know how I got all the measurements that we are applying. So here I'm using a curve ruler. See, I'm using the slightly curved part to connect from my bust point to my darts on the center. Do not forget that you measure your darts from your dart legs and not your bust span line. So on the side, I'm using the slightly deeper curve to connect to my bust point. So now I'm going to just take my ruler and I'm going to connect straight to the waist darts on both sides. So this is basic underbust snatching. For a regular zipper dress, you don't need to extend your underbust to be more than what your actual underbust is, which is why when you take your underbust measurement, you should make sure that it's firmly held around your bust. So we've applied waist darts, we've applied underbust darts. So what is the next dart that you apply? It's your side truing dart. Now we know that our front and our back waist measurements are always different. Your back waist is always shorter than your front waist. You have to account for the difference, and that is the only way that the side of your pattern is going to meet. That's the only way that the side of your pattern is going to meet your front and your back waist. That is the only way that they meet. So here I'm going to measure the difference between my front and my back waist. My front waist is 16 and my back waist is 14. 16 minus 14 is 2 inches. So I'll be taking out 2 inches from the side of my pattern, like so, from my bust point, not from my chest line, from my bust point line to the 2 inches. I'm marking that. Then I'm going to use my straight ruler to connect from that mark to my bust point. Are we together? So this is your side dart. So this dart is going to be cut and closed to enable your front waist and your back waist to match up when you are sewing. So what is the fourth dart we're applying on this pattern? It's going to be your shoulder darts. Your shoulder darts. So how do you apply your shoulder dart? Whatever you want to take out to form a shoulder dart has to be replaced on this side. So if I want to take out 0.5 from my shoulder, I have to replace 0.5 and take it back into my armhole. Let me explain that. So let's assume that first things first, I connect the distance from this point. I want to take out 0.5. The distance for this point is supposed to be 4.5. I'm going to extend it and make it 5. So I'm sloping down to my 5 inches, and then I'm reconnecting that 5 inches to point B, just like this. So now I can take out 0.5 from my shoulder and connect it down. So 5 inches here divided by 2 will give me 2.5. So 2.5, I'm going to take out 0.25 on both sides, and I'm going to connect it all the way down to my bust point, like so. At this point, this also shrinks your armhole a little bit and helps with gaping. Apart from that, if you're not taking out anything on your shoulder, then It's connected shoulder dart without this is just for aesthetics. It's just for styling. It's just a style line. So we've done waist dart, under bust dart, side dart, and then shoulder dart. What's the next dart? You can apply, instead of a shoulder dart, you can apply a princess dart to your pattern. So how do you achieve a princess dart? Very simple method. I'm going to teach you how to do that. So basically, I'm going to take my curved ruler. See the way I flipped it? I'm going to connect it to that half, that point B, the point that divides my armhole line into two equal parts, and I'm going to connect it straight to my bust point line. Now I'm going to connect my new armhole, because now my new armhole extension is here and no longer here. I'm going to connect it all the way back to point C. Now, for the sake of armhole snatching, I prefer, if you've done your basic bodice before and you see some kind of gaping on the armhole, the princess dart can help you to avoid that. So it depends on how much gaping you usually have when you style. You can take up to 0.5 or 0.75 on your armhole to reduce gaping. So here I'm taking 0.25 and I'm connecting it back to my bust point. So this becomes the part where we'll cut out, just like here. Anywhere you see me marking is not parts of it, you're going to be cutting it out. All these points are going to go, and this is also going to be cut out. So here's a basic bodice having 5 different types of darts: basic, back, block. Now let's apply our darts just like we did in front. So I'm going to mark my dart line, my bust span divided by 4, bust span divided by 2, which is 4 for me. Yours could be different, yours could be less or slightly above. Doesn't mean it's wrong. Your bust span becomes wider with how busty you are. Now I'm going to apply my waist dart, same 2 inches on both, half inch on both sides to give me 1 inch. And I'm also going to come down by the 5 inches just like I did in front. And like I mentioned earlier, there is no crime in connecting it all the way down. It doesn't take out much from your pattern. It equally helps the pattern to lap better. So dart replacement, do not forget, our dart is 1 inch, so we're replacing 1 inch on the side, and we're connecting from point C to the 1 inch. I'm connecting my waist back to the hip. So waist dart at the back done. Next would be shoulder dart. Remember the instructions, literally everything you did in front for the darts. Now you see that there is no under bust on your back, so there's no need for any under bust snatching at all. So we're going to do the same thing we did in front for the shoulder. Extend by 0.5, connect, link back to point B, divide by 2 and mark 0.25 on both sides, and then connect. That's for shoulder darts. Then for your princess dart at your back, the slant the curve is not usually as deep as what you have in front. So if you're still taking 0.25, you still connect. So this is going out. You cannot have both a princess dart and a shoulder dart on the same dress, so unless for styling purposes, you are either having a shoulder dart or a princess dart. Do not forget. So now I'm going to connect back my new armhole for these princess darts. Connect back to point C. All of this is going away. So now what next? Blend. You see how this point became very, very sharp? We're going to blend it out. Blending is very, very important so that you don't have a steep point. So all these parts I'm shading is going away. What next? For this back pattern, we're going to cinch our back waist so that your zipper does not bulge. We're going to go in by 1/2 inch and we're going to connect back to the chest line with a straight line at the top and then with a slight curve at the lower part. So this is what this part is also going away. This is what your back block looks like. Done. So don't forget that you'll be adding your zipper allowance, which is 1.5 inch or 1 inch, depending on what you prefer to fix your zipper with. But it doesn't have to be more than 1.5 inch. You do not need all that extra excess allowance on your outfit. Now I'm going to show you how to cut this pattern. So watch carefully as I cut. Let us cut from the front and then come to the back. See, I'm starting from my side dart. I'm going to cut my side dart all the way to my bust point. And when I do that, I'll cut my side front out. Back to my bust point. So now I'm going to close my dart. You see that dart? Like I said, this has to go away. So I'm closing it. Ouch. So now we're going to through the side. You see that this our dart line is broken as we bent it. This dart line is no longer straight, side line rather. So we're going to connect it back. That's what we call side throwing. So now I'm going to cut. I'm going to blend out before I cut. Please always blend to avoid sharp pointy nipple curve. Blend. So I'm cutting this out. If I am using my princess dart, I'm going to cut into this princess dart. If I'm using my shoulder, I'm going to cut straight. So your choice. I'm going to use the front pattern to show you how you're cutting the princess dart part, and I will use the back pattern to show you how you're cutting the shoulder dart. Hope that works. So this is my side front, cutting out the excess length. Side front done. Label. So now this way you cut this other one. Now because for this pattern I said we're not using the shoulder dart in front, so there's no need to cut into this. We're cutting straight. Can you see? Now I'm cutting out the snatching for the princess that armhole. Why does that sound funny? But my cutting is a bit rough. But now this is your center front piece. So front aside. Now let's cut the back. So first things, I'm cutting up my lengths. Then I'm cutting up my sides. There's no side trimming at the back, so you can just go straight into your cutting. For this back, we're not using the princess armhole, we're using the shoulder that. So we're cutting straight into this. And then we'll cut up my neckline. And I'm going to come from my start. Cut through my blended line. This is my side back. Then don't forget that it's the shoulder that we're using at the back, which is the reason why I'm doing this. So I'm cutting out like that all the way. Then the zip cinching that we did at the back for the center back to enable our zip lap, we're also picking that out. This is our center back. So side back, center back, side back, center front, side front. Now this is your complete front. Okay, so you have to place your side front, your side back, like so. So you make sure that they are equal in length and make sure that they are also equal from the armhole downwards. So that's all. That's how you draft a basic bodice.